we're going to record this. And the question was, I need to start, or I want to start a social media practice in my business. I want to incorporate social media in my business. How do I do it? And the first thing to me is social media should be part of some overall strategy that you're trying to get out of. It's not just flick the switch. And to me, social media is part of marketing and feeds my sales funnel. It also feeds customer service funnels, and it also feeds my branding funnel. Does that make sense?
Yes, and PR.
And PR, good, right.
And HR.
HR.
For recruitment.
Yeah, okay.
Depending on the business, but yes.
Yeah. And we should probably do something on HR and social media. If you guys all watched that 2020 show last week.
Yeah.
So, but continue, please.
So, if I wanted to get started in social media in my business, and, we'll assume that you're a small or medium-sized business, because large businesses have the luxury to be able to bring on a body and dedicate them 100% to social media. But if you've never done social media and you want to figure out what to do with it in your business, the very best place to start is by listening. So,
listening, that's a good point. So you're saying get on Twitter, but just look at what people are asking and doing.
Yep. And you're going to be driven very strongly by the desire to respond, but you're just too green. You don't know what people do or say or how they discuss social media. And so I would say plan on 90 days where you're not allowed to say anything.
So I actually use 6 months. I know in social media time that is a long period of time, but there's a reason for it, right? Because you're going to come in and nobody's going to be following you. Right? Mm-hmm. And you need 6 months to have people follow you. And actually, you need 90 days to have people follow you. The next 90 days is to weed out people that are not real good followers.
Right.
And basically, the way I look at it is the first part of the question is really around networking, right? So you want people to get to know you, you get to know them without you telling who you are. So I like to build this virtual ever-going networking room. Like if you think of that event, who would you want in that event? You would want people in your industry. You want people out of your industry. You'd want some connectors. You want to know people that know people. That's what you'd fill up that room with.
Yes.
Don't worry about how many people are in the room. Just worry about the quality of the people. Listen about what kind of things they are talking about.
Well, before I'd start building a lot of audience in the first 30 days, I think what I would do is I would get Hootsuite or TweetDeck or one of these multi-tools that can allow me to listen to different social media channels, to listen to Twitter, listen to Facebook, listen to LinkedIn, to find out where my audience is talking. Because that's where you need to start is where are they?
This is a big problem with startups, right? Because startups, you might have been in business before, you might have been in social media before, you might have been in a lot of things before, but now you have a new product in a new field with new customers, and you're starting from scratch. It doesn't matter who you are, right?
Yep.
So you're saying get the tools to help you do that first.
Get a couple of tools that are going to help you to be able to listen so that you can put all of the listening in one place for you. So you don't have to go to Twitter and LinkedIn and Facebook individually. So get some of these low end. They're free or next to free. Hootsuite, TweetDeck are the two most popular. And both of those are ideal for this kind of an application. If you're just getting started, you've got a small or medium-sized business, you want to see what's going on, start by listening to what people are talking about. Set up some searches in your Hootsuite or your TweetDeck to look for keywords. Look for your business name. Look for your competitors' names. And start listening to what people are saying. Do not respond. You're not ready to talk yet. It's the same kind of concept that You got a brand new salesman you just brought into your company, and they're raring to go. But you know what? It takes a few weeks for you to teach that guy what your product is, how do you sell it, where the pitfalls are, and all that.
And I think the other thing I'd like to underline is the message. What message do you want?
Right.
What message you want to portray and turn that into your keyword. The other thing that people get lured in is to automate functions within your.
Right.
Do not automate anything for the first 90 days.
Yes.
And then for the next 90 days, don't automate anything again. Automation tells the world that you're not really interested in what they think of the room, right? Think of the networking room that you're in. What would you automate in that room? Would you automate somebody handing people out your card? Would you automate somebody else telling what your product does? You wouldn't automate that. Why would you automate that in social media? Because that's what it's become, right? One of my gripes has become that it's a broadcasting channel and nobody's really listening to. But there's so much information there.
The thing is that what you're seeking to do in social media is to build relationships. You want to build relationships with your audience. You want to find your product advocates. Some of these people you probably know already. A lot of these people you don't know who are advocates, and they're probably not going to be very strong. They're not going to be very vocal for your product because they don't have any real forum, any reason to.
Yep.
You know, I like a couple of products, but if I never see them on Twitter, I never see them on Facebook, I'm never going to say anything about them.
Right. And that's a real key point, right? Or who should you go after first? I like to go after people that talk about my type of genre. I was working with a startup not too long ago, and it's a new product that I've never done any work with. And it's one of those products that you have to educate people. I usually don't like those kind of products because educating people is difficult.
Right.
But through social media, I was able to do a couple things. I was able to do focus group market testing and market validation all through social media without, getting rid of my jammies. So I like to figure out who are I like to think of a bullseye, a target, or a bullseye target, and in the center are the people that are going to buy from you, right? And then as you go out in circles, are people going to be talking about what you do? They already have their networks, and because they are passionate about cars, clothes, things, services, whatever it is, they already have a settled group of people that talks about that all the time. So you can use that as long as you make friends with the people that find your product or service or genre interesting.
Right. So you spend the first 90 days listening. And in that 90 days, you identify who are loudmouths, who are actually probably also the influencers, right? But who are the people that are talking about your industry the most on Facebook and Twitter and LinkedIn, depending on what business you're in and what you're doing. And you're listening to your competitors, and you're listening how they talk. And you're listening to, the complainers and the trolls. And there are going to be trolls. And trolls are people who are always complaining about something. They're never, ever happy. All right?
Right.
So you get these, you figure out who all these people are. You've not said anything yet. You listen to what your competitors are saying. You decide what you like and what you don't like about how they approach it. Now you're 90 days in. Now's the time when you start to think about what are you going to say and how are you going to do it.